On today's show, the Dawn and I are joined by Jedi Jax, and she's going to be talking about what it's like working Rhode Island Comic Con, along with her health and fitness endeavors, as well as her love for Star Wars. So join us for the return of the Jedi Jax on Free Your Geek.
By the power of Grayskull, Autobots, roll out.
Torpid time!
You have failed this city.
Winter is coming.
Star-Lord.
Finish him. Hadouken! Fatality.
And welcome to the Free Your Geek Show. I am your host, Jay Free, and you'll notice we have a more attractive KB sitting in the middle of us.
Hey now.
The Don is also here. What's up, Don?
I made my appearance. Hello.
And KB is actually doing some husbandly duties, so good on that, KB. Before we get into our guest, I just want to, first of all, thank all of those watching on Facebook Live. Please feel free to share and like our page. For those listening on iTunes or Stitcher or any other place where you can get your podcasts and listen to the audio version, thank you for that as well. And I'd also like to thank our sponsors. For those watching on Facebook Live, you can see them scrolling on the field right now. We have Pachico's Furniture, so Fall River's finest secondhand store. They also offer moving services. So if you want to do some moving, if you're moving to a new house in the future, you can call them and they have professional moving services. We also have Local Blast Marketing. So if you're looking to market your products, come over to somewhere local to Local Blast and market.
It'll be
your
a
products.
blast.
It will be a blast. It will be a
And
great
it won't be that
blast.
far either.
Correct. And last but not least, Ritual Sweat Society. And it's apropos. In Dartmouth, Massachusetts, friend of the show, Tara Winterhalter, is doing her own booty yoga.
Winterhalter?
Yeah, it's a great name. Friend of the show. She's a yoga instructor, has her whole team. It's like got this whole like wolf pack thing going. It's amazing.
Oh,
exactly, pretty much.
just
They do
too
all this
sweet.
and it's interesting that we're talking about wellness because our guest today goes by the name of she was on a show, the audio only. It was called Gur Arg with Jackie. This episode's going to be called Return of the Jedi Jax. Please welcome Jedi Jax to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Jax, now you do. We have a pretty full show. We're going to be talking Star Wars, obviously, with a name like Jedi Jax. Obviously, we know you're a fan. We're going to be talking about the health and wellness different endeavors that you're taking part of. For those watching the video on Facebook Live, we also have a link to Jackie's fundraiser, and we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But Jackie also works with Rhode Island Comic Con. She works for Rhode Island Comic Con, and she has a myriad of different duties there, too. So we're going to get into that, and then we're going to be talking about the guests that are appearing this year. It is a stacked show. And
Yes, it is.
It's amazing. And Jackie's gonna talk a little bit about that, and just how it's grown because she's been part of it for a long time now. And we'll be talking all about that. But first of all, let's. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start health and wellness? Do you want to start Star Wars? How do you want to?
Whatever you want. It's your show. Whatever you want.
She's already falling. She's already falling in line. Already falling in line, and I love it. All right, so we have. Let's start with. Let's start with the general question that we ask. What do you geek out about, and why?
Ooh, so obviously I geek out about Star Wars. Like, that's obviously a given, Jedi Jax. I geek out a lot about Dancing with the Stars.
Big fan of Dancing with the Stars. Who's your pick right now?
My pick right now is Lindsay and Mark. I just think she has such a fun, free spirit and such a positive attitude, and she's really like a kick-ass dancer. So like she's my favorite right now. But I started watching Dancing with the Stars with my Nana, like when its inception came, and we used to sit there, we used to judge people, and my Nana didn't know anybody on the show, so I used to have to explain it. And now I actually watch it with my mom, which is awesome. So that's kind of something I geek out about, because not only is it family time, but I love dancing. Love dancing.
Excellent. And so now, was your Nana an expert on dancing, or she?
Oh
just,
God, no.
She was just having fun.
She could waltz though. She could waltz. She taught me a few waltz steps.
Okay, very cool, very cool. So Star Wars, Dancing with the Stars. I'm feeling a star reference, a theme here. Anything else?
Well, you know I'm a Buffy the Vampire Slayer
Yep.
fan, and I'm actually a fan, I think I told you, of the original movie because that came out, I think I was a teenager, and I literally used to take pencils and pretend that I was slaying my sister. She's not really excited about that, but I thought it was awesome. So I used to pretend I was Buffy the Vampire Slayer because, you know, Buffy's kind of a kick-ass character.
I absolutely agree, and we're
yeah.
big on woman power here.
Yes.
Too. And so let's go into women power, and let's talk about health and fitness, because you do a little bit. Why don't you kind of explain what you do in the health realm?
Sure.
The wellness realm.
So I'm going to actually give you guys a little bit of how I became a health and wellness coach,
please.
if that's cool.
Go for it.
So I was actually diagnosed with ulcerative colitis at 8 years old. And when you grow up with a chronic illness, I think, it kind of makes you look at your health in a different way. So when I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed, and shortly thereafter, I was put on a drug called prednisone. And if any of you have any idea what prednisone is, you literally blow up like a freaking balloon. You get moon face, you're moody, it's the worst. So like picture this little 8-year-old girl who was, 70, 80 pounds. All of a sudden I gained 40 or 50, and kids were just, they were calling me fat, they were picking on me, and I used to come home crying a lot. And in hindsight, it made me a stronger person, but I got to tell you, kids can be cruel. So how I actually dealt with it, and I'm not joking, guys, at 8 years old, my mom used to do Sweatin' to the Oldies with Richard Simmons.
Woo!
Like, let me just tell you, It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want To is actually still my karaoke song. Like, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Like, I can still do the dance. And
Problem child right
so,
here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really geek out about fitness as well. So I started doing Sweatin' to the Oldies at 8, and I knew, like, at an early age that I really liked classes. Like, I loved the energy of fitness classes. So as soon as I was able to, I became an aerobics instructor. So I became an aerobics instructor when I was 19 years old. I actually taught for a couple of years, and my disease had kind of gone back and forth at that time. Oh gosh, I missed a huge part of it. Before I became an aerobics instructor, I actually, at 17 years old, I had my colon removed, and I had to have a colostomy bag. And I don't know if any of you guys out there, if you guys know anything about like colitis or Crohn's, but it's a really awful disease. I mean, it's a bathroom disease. Like, I literally talk about poop like it's my job all the time, because as far as I'm concerned, everybody poops.
Yep.
Everybody poops, guys. Like,
Great-
leave
great
me a
book.
comment if you poop today. But that's like my Facebook campaign, because I don't want poop to be taboo, because I spent years being embarrassed of myself, like being embarrassed what was going on with me, and I didn't like that person. I feel like I'm a pretty confident person at this point, but it took years because, you have a colostomy bag, kids don't understand, I got picked on so much, so I actually turned to health and fitness as a way of like my outlet. I kind of treat working out like my therapy, because you can always kick ass right there. So then I taught for about 4 or 5 years, from like 19 to about 23, and I got sick again. I was one of those rare cases that was about 0.5% of the population that when you get your colon removed, it doesn't always work. So for the past 12 years, I have not been able to go to the bathroom on my own. I actually have to use a catheter. It is probably one of the most painful experiences of my life, and I hit a very low point, because I'm not joking when I tell you, not going to the bathroom on the toilet means I suck at everything some days. And you have to pull yourself out of that mindset, because I don't think I suck. So what I did was I actually got some treatment. They gave me a plan, and now flash forward to 12 years later, I still have that catheter. But I have been doing pelvic floor therapy for a solid 9 months. I mean, I show up weekly for these appointments, and I hope that someday I'm going to be able to proudly tell everybody that I can poop on the toilet 100% of the time. So I'm really excited about that. But I turned to health and fitness because life was hard. And if I wasn't taking care of myself, and for a period of time I wasn't, because when you have ulcerative colitis, the biggest part is your diet. If you eat like crap, you are going to feel like crap. And that's like, it's the saying, like, you are what you eat. But when you have ulcerative colitis, you are so limited in the things you can eat. Like fruits and vegetables, those aren't going to be digested. However, hand me cupcakes, cookies, all that crap, like I can eat that like it's my job. So what I ended up doing was I went back to teaching. I actually still teach. I actually teach Core to Force right now. And I taught Zumba for about 7 years. Again, I told you guys I like dancing. I used to teach people how to shake it. And we shake it. I hope that gets you more viewers right there.
Thank you.
I had to whip my head around quick. I'm like, I can't look at you does that.
I'm going to get everybody in trouble.
No, I'm fine.
So I kind of just decided, like, I loved teaching, but I wanted to help more people. I wanted to help more people feel awesome in their own skin, because for me, I did not feel awesome in my own skin for a long time. I felt like having a colostomy bag defined me. I don't have one anymore, but I really felt like my disease really defined me. So I actually started being a health and wellness coach, and I help people, master their mindset and get through their barriers.
Well done.
Thanks.
You held my attention. No, seriously.
Well,
Yeah, my team is actually the Rebel Squad. Yeah, that's my team, the Rebel Squad.
So yeah,
Red 5 coming in. Red 5 coming in.
So Jackie is like crazy about health now. If you're friends with her on Facebook, you're always seeing like stuff she's doing. She's posting live videos. Johnny Leather's commenting right now on Facebook Live, as well as my friend Jill. Jill agrees with you that everybody does poop.
Yes, they do.
Johnny tuned in at the inopportune time. We were talking about health and wellness, and we were explaining the origin story, if you will, of a superhero here. What was
that?
Well, this is the Geek show, so we got to kind of like relate it to that.
Though. I'll take
it. But Johnny said he wasn't expecting this. Johnny, we're always about like what makes you you? What do you geek out about? And Jackie geeks out about health and wellness, and we're just telling her background with that. But Johnny said he's also heard of Geek Fitness and Lightsaber Fitness, Indiana Jones style obstacle course.
Oh, I want to do that obstacle course.
I've done a zombie 5K. It was pretty fun.
Oh, I've done a zombie 5K. That actually stressed me out a little. So they gave you did they give you the tags?
Oh my God, we did the same one.
Oh my God, they give you tags and the walkers come out like, ugh, and they grab at you. And finally I got so stressed out, I just handed it to them and I was like, please leave me alone.
So I played the whole thing like a video game. So I hid one of my tags.
Oh,
and
no.
ran. And then the girl I was with, she got all her tags taken. So there was this one area where like these zombies were like talking like they were normal people, and there was a bunch of tags they robbed. I rolled right by.
Yes. Oh, you did it. Oh my
It's
God.
like a cheat code.
It
Yeah.
was definitely a cheat code. I looked at it just like a video game.
Did you have to get in the mud?
You like the blood at the end, like that.
Oh,
blood
no. We didn't have the blood drive. I actually had to drop down into a mud pit and crawl through it. I mean, I was filthy at the end of this run.
Did it have the like? The one I did at the end, there was like the mud that you had to crawl through. First, you had to jump into a big pool of blood, come out of that, and then there's like a bunch of walkers in front of you.
I did not do that one, but that sounds awesome.
So because I was the last person to have a thing, everybody who was left with me did a flying V around me, and we just ran into the horde of walkers or whatever. I get down in the mud and start crawling through. There's like a fence right above you. You can't really get up. There's all these little like hanging electrical things that zap you as you like crawl through.
Oh wow, that sounds really intense.
It was awesome.
I was just happy I survived that.
The
because
5K
that was
alone?
Yeah, well, I mean, the 5K, I actually really love running. Funny Walking Dead running story. I used to run with a girlfriend of mine, and we had this game we would play where if one of us yelled out walkers, you had to, like, we were already running, but
Full
if
out
we
sprint.
ran out, we had to sprint to the next telephone pole. Neither one of us paid attention to where these telephone poles are, and we'd just be like, walkers! And then I'd look at her and I'd be like, oh my God, this is so far. And then we'd take a short break.
So I think, did you have anything you want to add about that? Or
No.
Okay, good. So check out Jackie's page. We tagged that in the video, but it's Jedi Jax Fitness, correct?
Yes.
So that's a Facebook page you can check out. And I believe the cover is "You're Dressed Like She-Ra." Is it or what is that?
So I'm actually working on a new cover photo, but I really like this photo because I'm actually a disc golf player, and I had done an event one time for Comic Con, and I came home. I actually, my boyfriend and I have a private course on our land, so we actually play disc golf more than I'd care to admit. But I came home after cosplaying for an event, and I was like, ooh, let me start throwing some discs like She-Ra. And he took a really nice picture of me throwing the disc, and I got it in the basket.
Boom.
So
Aces.
2 for 1.
Yes.
Excellent. So let's talk about your. We have some swag that you brought.
I brought stuff today.
Yeah,
So here's what I have. So the helmet right in front of me is probably one of my most prized possessions. I have been in the Comic-Con world for like 6 or 7 years now. I bring this puppy with me to every Rhode Island Comic Con because you know we're going to have Star Wars guests.
Absolutely.
And I mean, this helmet is signed by a ton of Star Wars people, but most importantly, Darth Vader has signed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice, you got the real one.
Yeah, I do.
So let me just. I'm trying to read some of these right here.
I think you can see it's a trap.
It's a trap. Yeah, I see that. I see Billy D signed it.
Yep, Billy D's awesome. He was on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, so there you go. We'll tie that to that. What about now? I don't want to be too morbid right here, but how about Carrie Fisher? Has she signed it, or did you miss out on that?
Sadly, I got the helmet after I met her, but I got to meet Carrie Fisher. And that was just one of the best days in my life. I think I smiled like a crazy person.
Cheshire Cat.
Oh my God. So you rest her. Just God bless her soul. You walk up to her table and she had her dog sitting on the table. Her dog Gary. It's like one of those pugs that, has all the snorty noises. So the dog, I hope you guys can see this on the video, is sitting there like this. Yeah.
She wasn't even looking at me. She wasn't even looking at me.
So as soon as I walked up to her, my mom made me a very special dress to go meet her. She made me a Star Wars pinup dress, and I wore it. And the first thing Carrie said to me was, "Can I have your dress?" And I just, deer in headlights, I was like, sure. And she was like, no. But she did. She threw glitter on me. She loved that dress. And on the back of my autograph, she actually wrote like, "Love you too, Mom. Great dress." So that was pretty
That's cool.
That's really
yeah,
cool.
it was
That's a
a
cool
really
story.
fun experience. I'm glad I got to meet her because she is by far my like princess idol. I don't do Disney princesses.
Right, which I think age-wise, like because you were pretty much prime age, I think, when you were younger with your parents, right? And I believe you mentioned that.
Oh, yes.
On the last time you were on the show, you
Yep.
mentioned that was your father, was it?
My dad.
Oh my God, this is who I wanted to go toe to toe with on the trivia.
Yeah.
I've listened to your. I've listened before I jumped on the podcast. I listened to a bunch to get comfortable, and I listened to that one.
Oh, don't worry. I got trivia for you.
Oh.
We'll
We're
see
going to
how
get
you
into
do.
that. So you're going to go toe to toe, all right?
You're
Yes.
right.
Well, I'm going to know the answers.
Right.
So
Oh,
if you
no, no,
two
no,
go,
no.
yeah, no, you guys are
he
going
doesn't
toe to
count.
toe.
He
No,
doesn't count.
hey,
I need
give me the book. I will read.
No, but
No,
it's not
no,
fair. You need to find your own trivia
I
and
will
have
be
me go up
so-
against
All
her.
right.
This
Well-
book is hard.
Okay, is it? Is it? But no. So the thing I wanted to mention before you tell the story about you becoming a fan of Star Wars, Jackie on her private Facebook page. It was
And my regular one,
and
yeah.
the Jedi Jax
Yep.
one? Oh, so she does what, Trivia Tuesdays?
Every Tuesday, I'm going to hit you with at least 3 to 4 Star Wars trivia questions. Just don't get mad, because sometimes I like to switch it up, do some Walking Dead one week, maybe some Harry Potter, like all sorts of trivia I'll do.
Very cool, very cool.
I like trivia.
Before you tell this story, though, again, we're going to get into that trivia. Cindy Medeiros said, she goes, "Oh, so I guess I'm her father's age." Cindy, I believe, and I'm not going to call anybody out, I believe you're a little bit younger by, I'd say probably 6 or 7 years at least. So
Cindy, you're like 12 years younger.
yeah, okay.
Come
so
on, you're a woman.
Don's the sweet talker.
Yes, I am.
But so yeah, let's talk about how your Star Wars love of Star Wars gets started. Then we'll get into some trivia, and then we'll talk about what you do for Rhode Island
All right,
Comic Con.
sounds good. So when I was a kid, I was probably one of the most hyper children you could have. And every time my mom had my dad watch me for an entire day, he was like, "Oh God, she has so much energy. What am I going to do with her?" So I remember I was probably about 4 or 5 years old, and he was like, you know what we're going to do today? And I was like, what? And he was like, we're going to watch Star Wars, all of them. They're the greatest movies ever. And I just looked at him like, well, if my dad says they're the greatest movies ever, they're obviously the greatest movies ever. I sat down for 6 hours, and I watched all 3 of the original movies with him. And when they were over, I looked at him and I went, I would like to be Princess Leia when I grow up. And then I used to make my mom put the buns on my head. Like, I was doing this when Star Wars wasn't, like, huge anymore. This was probably, like, middle to late 80s. So, like,
late
I was...
80s, early 90s.
Yeah, like, if you didn't grow up with Star Wars, like, kids just thought I was weird. Like, like I was a geek before I think being a geek was cool.
I think we all were.
Yeah, that's our group.
You know, like, it's cool to be a geek now.
Yeah, right? We're cool now.
Yeah, and I love my dad for introducing me to everything geek.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, though, being like geek is the new in.
Yeah,
Right.
it is.
So,
it's the
I
new
mean,
jock.
Yeah, it's the new jock. Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
the new jock. And I take both of them and put them together.
Right. You're doing the health and wellness.
Yep.
Because when you think of jock, right here, buddy, you know?
Well, I mean, then you got me. I balance the equation for
Yeah,
us.
exactly. But Don's the coolest dude I know.
Hey, Fonzie.
He was at Rhode Island Comic
I
Con a
met
few
him.
years ago.
Oh man,
Henry Winkler.
Nice
Henry
guy.
the Wink.
Nice guy.
I was just saying, like, you want to be Leia. As much as I wanted all the powers of the Force, I just wanted to be Han Solo.
Did you really?
That's it. I just, I want
I
to do the
respect
Kessel
that.
Run.
Han Solo's an awesome
Yeah,
guy.
you
Like,
know.
he's a smuggler. He's a bad boy, ladies. Like,
Hey.
I don't know. I'm team Han Solo.
Well, yeah. Then I was gonna just make a comment that was gonna induce a
You
cricket
be my
noise.
Chewbacca.
No, I was gonna say 3PO.
Oh,
and just have like crickets.
God.
sir, this is not calculating.
We're doomed.
Just the guy that worries all the
dear.
time, and that was me. That was me. So you got into the Star Wars movies. Favorite character, favorite movie. Let's start off with your favorite movie.
So I knew you were asking this, and it is a toss-up between the original A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of a toss-up, but I think I lean towards the original one because it's just so well done. It's so awesome. There's so much action. I think they did a great job with the character development without like dragging out too much. Like sometimes like in movies like that, they can do like a lot of character development. I think they did a really great job with that. And it was so cutting edge for its time. Like people
yeah.
weren't doing that. Like George Lucas is the man.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, he's the man. I'd like to meet him someday.
Okay. Well, we'll be getting to that a little bit when we do our Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
But Don, how about you? Favorite movie? I don't know if I've probably asked you
It's
this
always Empire.
Yeah.
Always, every day. And I'm not a big fan of A New Hope. It's actually
It's
at the
okay, I won't
it's-
hold it
No,
against
it's
you.
cool. It's at the bottom of my list, but you probably don't like episode
Do you
3.
like the originals? I mean the new like the 1 through 3?
I do, and again, like I'm a Star
Even
Wars
Jar
fan
Jar
who-
Binks.
For what he was worth, like, yeah, realistically, it's Jar Jar Binks' fault that the thing got signed in the first place to give the executive power. So you need characters like
You
that.
do.
They could have
You
made
need
him.
characters to
yeah.
hate sometimes.
They could have like picked some bummy guy off the street in Fall River to do the part, and hey, it's still we got what we needed out of it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, no, I thought they were really good. The second one, there was a lot of love story for me. So like a lot of that, like I didn't feel like
Episode 2?
Yeah, episode 2, like there was a little bit more love story than I would have liked, but I love all of them.
Best fighting scene though, episode
Yes.
2.
Yeah.
You
they're-
get Yoda against Count Dooku.
Oh my God, yeah, that is it. See, I'm indifferent with the.
Yeah, you can watch every single one of those movies, and everyone can be your favorite, depending on what you're
Yes.
sitting down, like what your mood is.
What
in.
you need that day.
Yeah, totally. Star
I don't
Wars
know
can-
about you guys, but anytime Star Wars is on TV, I'm watching it.
Tell me you watch
like,
Clone
game
Wars
over.
though too.
Yep.
Good, awesome. Because that's such perfect filler. Like
Yep.
for people who didn't appreciate 1 through 3, I feel if they sat and watched the Clone Wars, it will give them a deeper love for the movies.
Yes.
That's very cool. So, to your scene, like of the prequels, episode 1 is my favorite, just from the Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul.
Qui-Gon Jinn's amazing.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
When
like
you
I
get
just
enough of him.
like for me, that's like what hooked me. Even though I didn't enjoy the movies because those are the ones I started off with. Like I was kind of.
I'm
Which is-
sorry,
it's
what?
unfortunate,
You
yeah.
started with the first
yeah,
one?
you should. So what happened was So my parents were not cool in the sense that like, hey, I'm going to show you the greatest movies
I
ever.
hope they're not watching.
My dad. If you are dad, I apologize. My
Show
dad-
him Star Wars. Go back in
No,
time.
my dad. My
Yeah,
dad's
right?
a huge.
Get the
James
DeLorean.
Bond. Hey, I'm all about James
Shaken,
Bond. My dad,
not
Oh, nice.
stirred,
but
baby.
I like they were never into the whole sci-fi deal. So, What happened was when it came out, I think when episode 1 came out, it was like what 90, 98, 99?
96.
90, okay, so there you go. I was like,
Sophomore year, yeah.
I was like 14, 15 right there for me. So like I was like,
Yeah.
because I was born in 82. So that was kind of like right when I'm like, okay, I'm kind of figuring out.
Yeah, but before that, they did the reboots, like not the redoing the
But
whole
they
movie.
re-released?
And
Yeah.
they gave you like deleted scenes. They re-released Star Wars into
Right.
the movie theaters again. It was phenomenal.
you're
All the
talk-
toys and stuff that came back
Jabba?
out. Yes, like
Jabba
literally-
goes
Oh
around?
my
Yes.
God, the deleted scene.
Yes.
And Mos Eisley.
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, look at him. He can move.
But to my point, that's when I was 16 years old.
I'm sorry, go.
No, it's all good, dude. I don't want to interrupt you. But no, I was 16, and that was my first job, so now I had disposable income. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Star Wars, let me check this out. Like, this is the DVD that just came out. It's episode
Oh,
1.
and you saw it on DVD too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
your whole life was just pooped on.
I know.
And everyone pooped.
And
Everybody
It's
poops.
okay.
Everybody poops. Like no, but so I ended up watching the prequels before I watched episodes 4, 5, and 6. And by the time I watched it, like I was kind of taken out of it. But then episode 7 blew me away.
Yeah.
Blew me away. And we're gonna. I know Don wanted to talk a little bit about the trailer.
My God, the trailer like shook me to the core.
Yeah, well, Jackie and I were talking a little off air, and we're like, "Wow, there was so much. It got us so hyped, but we can't remember everything."
Biggest thing that stuck out to me, I'm sorry.
No,
I'll
go.
just-
That's why we wanted you to
is
be here.
So cool is Ray going like it's not from that scene, it's just from a different scene, but she's like, I need to know my place in all this. And Kylo's hand comes out. It's like
Yeah.
I've never seen this much raw power before, and this time I'm not scared of it, or I am scared of it. I don't know. I was like, oh my God.
I think
So cool. I'm so excited.
so. We're gonna talk. We're obviously gonna review that. So you know what? I'm putting this out there right now, and I'm just throwing it out there in the ether. So it's coming out around Christmas time,
22nd?
22nd. Yeah, something like that.
Around
like
there?
that,
The
yeah.
preview said this Christmas. So how about this? One of the shows after that where we review the new Star Wars. Do you want to come back and review that with us?
Hell yeah, I
All right.
do.
Cool. So we're locking you in now for
You
that.
got it.
That'd be awesome.
All right. That'll be perfect. So let's talk a little trivia because I think we were going to ask you what your favorite character was, but you already talked about Leia.
Yeah.
You already talked about Han
Princess
Solo.
Leia is my favorite. Honestly, like, think about it. She is just a badass, fearless, rebel female that's just like, I'm not going to take anything from you. Like,
Especially,
I'm Princess Leia.
especially for that time too. Like that was.
Yeah.
I wasn't say it wasn't as commonplace as it is now, and even now it's still not like hugely like common with strong female characters. But yeah, for that time to have this woman who's
She
in
was
charge,
a
and
strong
she's just-
character. She was awesome.
It was great. It was great. Oh, Don already speed
This
read
is,
on
Get
it.
outta
no,
here.
this is unfair.
Okay.
What kind of ammo is in a Wookiee's holster? What?
So yeah,
Plasma bolts?
Jax has her.
I mean, I'm taking stabs at it here.
all right, let's
I'll try. I won't be awful. Okay, so guys, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to flip through.
Okay.
Or is there a specific movie?
No. Nope.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
Don.
Let's
this
do
is gonna-
general.
Oh, Don, this is gonna be good. This is. I wish we had like a
Bing.
yeah, exactly, buzzers or like a scoreboard in the background.
All right. So this is from Revenge of the Sith.
Darth Vader.
No.
I haven't even asked the question.
Sorry, that's gonna be my answer for everything.
Well, I don't think you can answer Darth Vader for this one, but
Okay.
how many clone troopers tried to kill Master Yoda after they were given Order 66?
2. Boom. The 2 that was standing right behind him. He did that like moonsault backflip thing with the lightsaber and just cut their heads off.
I'm gonna say
Holy
4.
crap, you're right.
And then he
It
hopped
is
up
2.
on Chewbacca's arm and took off.
All right, I'm going to stump you. Hang on.
Jackie's got a purpose now, Don. This is. I'm gonna just. I wish the rest of the show is just this.
Damn, man. I wish it was me going against her, though.
see.
It's not fair.
I'm gonna take.
No,
it.
I know. You would destroy me in all of your DC stuff.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
the
I'm
only-
saying I'm gonna steal the book
Oh, okay.
at some point.
All right,
Okay.
we got a new hope.
A New Hope.
Okay.
What did Owen Lars tell C-3PO to do?
What did he ask him if he was able to
what did
talk to
Owen Lars tell C-3PO to do?
before buying him? Can you talk with? He's like, can you communicate with? Can you communicate with hydraulic?
two
systems?
words.
Oh my god, 2 words.
Darth Vader.
No, it's not. No,
Darth Vader. Do you want me to tell you?
no.
Okay.
Oh, while Don's thinking, John Viveris, thank you on Facebook Live, saying December 14th.
Oh, very well.
Oh wait. Owen is the uncle. I really don't remember too many conversations.
For those on
between
Facebook
them
Live,
two.
if you want to throw your answers in there too.
Oh, yeah, guys, answer. But the answer is shut up.
God.
The answer was shut up.
Oh, all right. So yeah, that's one's a little trick question, I think.
Yeah, I want it to be tricky because he got the first one so quickly.
Yeah.
All right, hang on. Let's see. Ooh. What was Yoda's species?
Jesus Christ.
No, I don't think it's that.
No, it's not. And if you get this, and I have not even the slightest clue on any Star Wars species.
Want to phone a friend?
Yeah, right. This is what we should do. Is like who wants to
Guys,
know?
help him.
I'm gonna say.
How do I know that? No Star Wars as much as me.
Yeah,
I didn't know this answer. I'm just going to throw it
No, that's
out
not
there.
fair. Then you can't.
Well,
Okay.
it's in the book, but
Okay.
it's unknown.
Oh, it's another trick question.
Oh wait, well I was right. I said I don't know. It's
There you go.
unknown.
Boom. You know
All right,
what?
fine. You can
All
have
right,
a point.
two out of three.
All right.
Now, in this book, do they arrange the questions on easy, hard, difficult, or?
Oh my God! Some of these questions are like, "How tall is Chewbacca in meters?" By the way, it's 2.1. Only because I've looked at it. Like I don't deal in meters.
Right, we're here in the
Whatever.
United States, and we do feet and inches.
We don't use the metric system.
Here's a good one. How many engine thrusters does a superstar destroyer have?
3.
4. Superstar Destroyer. No, I think you're right.
No, Jackie's saying Darth Vader.
Yes. No, it's actually 13.
Wow.
On the back of one of those?
Maybe it's in the front too. I'm not sure.
Thrusters. It didn't say in the back. It just said thrusters in general.
I didn't read the book.
Damn this book.
All right, you know what? Give me the book, Jackie.
Oh no!
This is gonna be fun.
I don't
We'll do the best of 3 right here. I'm gonna just randomly pick.
Oh, the pressure.
All right. Let's see. Wait, wait a second. I'm looking at this right now.
It's hard.
No.
Some of these questions are like hard,
Where
and
do
I
you-
can't even post them because everybody's going to be like, "I'll Google it."
No, but where's the answers?
Oh, the answers are at the bottom,
Oh.
and they're upside down because
Oh.
that's cool.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I was like looking. They're all multiple choice. That's why she was. We're gonna do multiple choice at one point.
Oh, you want? Oh, I should have given
No,
you
it's
them.
okay.
I never give people multiple
No.
choice.
Okay,
I
this
think
is-
that's
No.
boring.
Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Who was the director of concept design for Revenge of the
Jesus.
Sith?
No. Okay. Look at
What?
this. Is
Oh, false.
time out.
No, come on.
Okay,
You're
fine,
worse
fine,
than
fine,
me.
fine.
My Star Wars knowledge is anything that happened during the movies. I don't know any species. I don't know any directors. I don't know any grips or
Okay.
sound guys.
How about this one? Why did C-3PO exclaim, "Curse my metal body"?
And what movie?
This I'm assuming this doesn't give me a movie.
A
but-
New Hope.
It's
It's a New Hope.
Curse my metal body.
Oh, so okay, I got how this works.
Wait, say it again.
Why did C-3PO exclaim, "Curse my metal body"? Do you want me to do the multiple choices here?
Yes.
Okay. Was it A, he thought he had given Obi-Wan Kenobi faulty directions?
Nope.
No.
B, he and R2-D2 were captured by stormtroopers?
Is it because he walks too slow in the sand?
C, he thought he hadn't been quick enough in getting R2-D2 to shut down the trash compactor? Or D, he thought he wasn't going to
can
be
hear him
able to make
saying
it
it.
to the Millennium Falcon in time for takeoff?
Oh, curse my metal body. D, I'd say.
I'm gonna go with Darth Vader.
Both Darth Vader was closer. Actually, it is C. He thought he hadn't been quick enough in getting R2 to shut down the trash compactor.
No,
The
I
trash
was wrong.
compactor.
I said D on that, so I was wrong. I thought it was maybe
right.
trying to
So do you want me to stick with the prequels, or do you want me to go
go.
into?
Just flip the page, put your finger down. If it seems something like
If
you've
it
seen,
seems
like
reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is for Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
What was Darth Vader's reason for arriving unexpectedly at the second Death Star, much to I can't even say this guy's name,
Mos Tuffin. Oh,
Marsh Jarod's chagrin?
what was his reason for arriving there?
Yeah,
to make sure that everything was up to speed because the Emperor would be on his way later on, and he could sense his son on the planet below. I don't know. It's gonna be one of the two of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say he sensed Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
So the choices are: he had an important meeting.
Nope.
He was there to put the Death Star's construction back
Back on
schedule.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I
That's
feel
the
like
answer.
that's
You
it.
guys are both correct with
Yes,
that
we
one.
are.
Yeah, I
All
feel
right,
like that
so
one's
let's go to the tiebreaker, and then we'll talk some
Oh,
Rhode Island
God.
Comic Con.
So much pressure. I'm just gonna cheat and look at the answers.
Okay,
I'm just kidding.
let's see.
That's not the answer you're looking for.
Let me just see.
Oh my god, I have a wicked funny story to tell you guys about Star Wars too.
Okay.
Do you want me to do it now? Or
Yeah, do it now
while you're
while I'm
doing it?
looking-
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
do it while
because
I'm
it
looking
takes
at
a
the
minute to like look at it.
Because that's
So,
dead air, and dead air is never good.
Years ago, I had a cupcake problem, like a big cupcake problem. And there was a cupcake shop that was doing a contest for a charity. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. So you had to take their mascot and put them into a movie clip.
Yeah.
So what I did was, and it was, so here's this little cupcake guy. I put him on Luke's little speeder. I did, so I like speeded him around like with the camera. It was like super cool. And then I had like a helmet on to disguise my voice. And we were like, how long have you had these cupcakes? They're not for sale if you want them. And we literally changed everything to cupcakes. And I'm going to tell you right now, I got third place.
This is not the frosting you're looking
Yeah,
for.
it's not. Yes.
This is not the frosting we're moving for. Please move along.
We shot it because we were trying to make Tatooine, and we shot it on the beach. So I had all of these toys and cupcakes in the freaking sand. And I kept being like, oh my God, like, don't get them all dirty. Like, we're going to eat those later. But we were like a couple of like grown-up kids just playing with their toys. And I remember kids walking over, and I was like, please don't touch my toys. Like,
Can I play, please?
yeah, you can't play with us. No.
Please, can I
But
just
it
hold
was
the
fun.
camera?
It's like a minute and 30 seconds. And in the beginning of it, I made cupcakes to put on my head, dressed up as Princess Leia. And I just went, help me, Cupcake Charlie. You're my only hope. That's awesome. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
So I get a little side reference
Go for
to
it.
tie in your cupcakes and your Star Wars. So my kid's big on Sesame Street, and they do these Cookie Monster parodies.
Yep.
Cookie Monster, they did like the Star Wars one, and that's what it came down to. It was like Princess Leia had like the big like cupcakes on
Yes,
her hairs
yep.
and everything. It was nice. I do that a lot too.
Right? I'm like smashing my
It's
head
all
in a
good. It's
microphone.
all good. I have a bunch of questions.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Here we go. So they're all from the.
All right, here it
from the
goes. Picking up right now from the best
Return of the
three.
Jedi.
Okay.
So, and these are going to be a little easier.
Okay.
Not as difficult. What did Darth Vader tell Luke Skywalker about the name Anakin Skywalker? Did he tell him, A, it no longer had any meaning to
Yeah.
him?
I feel like
B,
that's it.
he hadn't used it in a long time.
Ugh.
C, he had never liked that name.
Nope.
D, he didn't know who his father was.
No.
A.
Yeah.
A.
Okay, see, that one's
That was
pretty-
Yeah,
super
A.
easy.
Okay. Let's do this one then. What did Luke Skywalker need to do in order to complete his training and become a Jedi Knight according to Master Yoda?
Kill Darth Vader!
No, he had to
No?
let go of his
Hate?
no, not hate at all. It's his attachment to his friends. Like think of Yoda telling him you
That's
have
a
to
trick.
Well, I'm going to give you the 4 choices, and that might change your opinion, Don. Should he A, levitate an X-Wing out of the swamp, B, confront Darth Vader again, C,
Confront
destroy the
himself?
Empire,
Must confront Vader.
or D, study the holocrons in Yoda's hut?
I think he
Well,
needed
that's
to confront.
lame.
I think he needed to confront Vader, but he also needed to get the X-wing out.
Yeah.
Which one what's your final answer?
I don't accept any of those answers. The answer that I said originally was the right answer.
I'm saying confront Vader.
You have to
And
let
you would
go
be-
of you have to
according
let
to
go
this
of
book,
detachment.
you are
According to
correct.
the book is wrong though.
So
Watch
we-
the movie, people.
I'm gonna go home and watch all of them tonight, and then
Let's-
let you guys.
Let's prove this wrong.
All right.
Okay, last one. What, according to Obi-Wan Kenobi, was true from a certain point of view? A, that Luke Skywalker had completed his training. B, that Yoda was still with Luke even though he had died.
No.
C, that Darth Vader had betrayed and murdered Luke's father.
Bang.
Yes.
There it is. You don't have
Yep.
to read any further.
All right.
Yep.
There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out Obsessed with Star Wars.
Or actually, don't
2,500
check it
questions.
out because I'll post them all for
Yeah,
you and
that's
I'll
true.
make
Yeah.
you answer them.
Unless you want to
That's it.
cheat.
But actually, the book is really cool. They're just really hard questions sometimes.
Star Wars and philosophy. My cousin, who's like a big Star Wars, like not like us, had that book, and it's awesome. Like they associate like the art of war into Star
Oh,
Wars. And
really?
Stuff like that.
What is it
Yeah.
called?
Star Wars and philosophy.
Star Wars and Philosophy. I'm going to get that.
You should definitely check
Yeah,
that out.
I'm going to get that.
Jumping onto the comments from Facebook Live real quick. Fan of the show, Paul Tavares, says, "Sup, fellas and Jax." Hello,
What's going
Paul.
on?
Thank you for the nice message you sent earlier. And Johnny Leathers, another fan of the show, and we're going to have him on soon to do a Leathers report. We're going to figure that out. He says, when we were talking a little bit before about Geek being the new jock, he said, it's very true. Look at the new Spider-Man movie where Flash Thompson, who in the comic books was a jock and used to beat up
Johnny
Okay.
Les, this is what I got to say to Flash Gordon being the new Geek and Geek being the new Jock. No, Flash Gordon is a jock. Jocks are tool bags. That's what he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be a tool bag.
Tell us
and
how you
Peter's
really
the nerd.
feel.
Don,
I'm that guy on the show.
You got no filter here.
I love it. As long as he keeps it PG-13,
Oh, yeah.
he can
Right?
say whatever he wants.
That's
No
it.
swear
You can-
words.
Yeah, no really bad swear words. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Rhode Island Comic Con, and then we'll get into our Mount Rushmore topic.
All right.
Jackie, you work for Rhode Island Comic Con. Do you volunteer? What's the official term?
So I am actually the travel coordinator for Rhode Island Comic Con. So basically my job is to, and I have a team of people. It is not just me. I want you guys to know that. We book flights for the celebrities, the artists, and everybody coming to the show. Our job is to basically get everybody there. And then I have to greet them and make sure like everything is good, before the show, and it's pretty awesome. But I mean, booking travel is definitely like looking up flights all the time. You got to make sure you put them in right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing it for 6 years now, so I think I've got it down to a
So
science.
yeah, you've been doing it for 6 years.
the
so
guests
you've seen-
always get there.
You've seen the growth, and that's perfect. This is a great segue because I want to talk about the guests, and I want to talk about how you've seen. They call it the biggest show in the smallest state.
Yes.
And it's amazing the guests they have. But before we get into that, real quick, I just saw another fan of the show on Facebook Live. John Vivera says, if you're into Darth Vader, read the current Vader comic by Marvel. It's solid. So
Cool.
for those comic collectors, the Darth Vader, if it continues the story or just sheds more light, kind of like you were talking about the Clone Wars, if
Yeah.
it kind of like fills in different gaps, I would love to check that out. So I might have to take a look at that. But back to Rhode Island Comic Con. Obviously, you got your Darth Vader helmet signed by a bunch of guests from those different shows,
Yes.
from the Comic Cons. How have you seen it grow from 6 years ago to now? Like, how is it?
Oh, wow. The show gets bigger and bigger every year, and it's because of the guests, the vendors that we're bringing in, the artists. Like, the show just keeps growing and growing. And a couple of years ago, we realized that we couldn't just have one building. So we now have the Convention Center and the Dunkin' Donuts Center. We kind of take over Rhode Island.
Nice.
For an entire weekend, and it's really awesome. It's just grown, and like every year, it just, our guest list blows me away, and I look at it all the time.
So who's been so far? I mean, I'm not going to talk about this guest list for this upcoming year.
Okay.
But I want to say, who's been your favorite guest to have you worked with anyone particularly?
So I do have some fun stories.
Okay.
We had George Takei a couple years ago, and
He's his biggest fan.
I gotta tell you, George Takei was one of the sweetest people I ever met, and I don't remember what I said to him, but he looked at me and just went, "Oh my," and I was like, "Yes!" Like, those are just fun moments. Also, like, I have to say, one of my favorite guests also is actually BJ Britt from Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's actually not on the show anymore. Maybe they'll bring it back. You never know. But he actually came to one of our after parties, and we danced it out.
Oh.
Yeah, like, it was like full-on dance-off. So that's like really an awesome moment. And I do love doing like creative, fun photos with people if I get an opportunity. I'm obviously working, but if I get an opportunity, I will. And I have an amazing awkward prom photo with Will Friedle from Boy Meets World. I dressed up as his character plays with squirrels. So I had the wig on, the mustache, and
the
like,
robe, the
I
big
married
beard.
I married a moose, and I am holding him like the man, and it is just one of the silliest photos
love
you've
it.
ever seen.
I love that.
But everyone, I have to say, all the guests we've had are just, they're all awesome. I could probably list you like 60 more things, but I won't.
Well, yeah, we'll do that another time. But I just want to run through. But for
Yes.
those watching and listening the audio podcast, go to ricomiccon.com for the latest. We'll plug that again on our Facebook page as well. But the headliners they have this year, like you said, as it's getting bigger and bigger, probably the biggest one, Walking Dead's coming back. Norman Reedus.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Norman Reedus is, I was a Boondock Saints fan. I don't know about you guys, but I was a Boondock Saints fan. I love
My friends
Walking
were,
Dead.
I mean.
No, I dug Boondock Saints, but yeah, he is a huge guest. So super excited about him.
Right, and I want to say before we get into this is as of this morning because I finalized this list. So I just want to kind of point that out. But I do want to say, sometimes guests can't necessarily make it and they have to cancel due to conflicts
Yeah.
and whatnot. So again, check out ricomiccon.com for the most up-to-date, the cancellations and everyone else who's been there. But I'm going to go through some of these headliners. For any fans of Lord of the Rings, Elijah Wood, Frodo. I know Jax has been a huge fan for years.
Huge fan. This is definitely the guest that I am beyond pumped to come. When I was a kid, my mom and I used to watch movies together, and we saw this movie Paradise, and it's like Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith, and he came across the screen, and I was like, Mom, he's so cute. Like, I want him to be my boyfriend. Like, that was my original thought. It was really silly. And obviously, I've grown up now, and I don't feel that way now. But he's still like that one guest I always wanted to meet, like, always. I actually wrote him a letter when I was 13. Not only did he write me back, this is how cool Elijah Wood is. I keep hitting this thing.
That's fine.
Not only did he write me back, but he sent me an autograph with my name spelled right. My name is Jacqueline. Nobody ever spells it right. And he wrote, Jacqueline, love and peace, Elijah Wood. I have carried that around for over 20 years. That puppy used to go to school with me for like a period of time. So I'm pretty pumped about him coming.
That's fantastic.
I'm just going to smile the whole time and not say a word so I don't make a fool out of myself, I guess.
I gotta say, like, his career is so all over the place. Like,
It's
The Good
awesome,
Son.
though.
Good
Oh,
Son
The
was
Good
incredible.
Son was... That was a lot.
My God, Macaulay Culkin going
So
insane.
mean.
But North, him and Bruce Willis, that movie's so awesome.
That movie's hysterical.
Imagine getting
yes.
to like swap out families.
Yep. I don't like my family. I'm gonna go get another one.
See you
Like
later.
he definitely picks projects. I
Yeah.
think that he really like is passionate and awesome. I mean, come on, he was Frodo.
He was in Sin City too, though.
Yep.
He was
Wasn't
in
he
Sin
like
City.
the creepy?
Yes.
Oh, he's played.
Wow.
I have to say, he's played some seriously creepy roles.
Movies on Netflix right now. He's the monster or the beast or something like that. It's just oh man.
Don's going to look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
guys,
while he's looking at we want to talk about Lord of the Rings. How about somebody that's not only done Lord of the Rings, Planet of the Apes? Andy Serkis, the voice of Gollum, motion capture. This guy is super talented.
Super talented.
And he's another headliner from and I just grouped him under the Lord of the Rings. I'd love to meet him.
yes.
But we are a typical superhero show, and we
you do have one more Lord of the Rings.
Oh
character?
yeah, we're gonna be getting.
Oh, it's a special.
No.
He's got secrets, guys.
He does have secrets.
I broke it down by headliners first, and then
Oh.
these are all the headliners.
Oh, well then, let me interrupt really quick. The one character who will be at Rhode Island Comic Con who could slaughter all these is Sir Bronn of the Blackwater, who was recently added. I got the
Yes.
notification yesterday.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Game of Thrones characters, hands down. That man is just pure gold with his words.
Instantly.
Pure gold.
Seriously, like, the second I'm looking at this and you're talking about Daryl, you're talking about Norman Reedus, I'm like, oh, he's such a badass. And then I'm like, put him against Bronn. Bronn on the horse.
Okay.
Just throwing the knives under his arm. Like,
Right?
boom, he's bad. He's bad.
Oh, and they give him the
he was
best
on my
lines.
list, but you that's okay.
Excuse me.
He's
I
very
see
excited.
My
no Game
updated
of
list.
Thrones section.
I didn't print out an updated list for you, Don.
Is there
I wasn't
Game
sure
of
if you were going to
Thrones?
be
Oh,
here.
but I do have Dolph Lundgren on here.
Yep.
I get the Russian from Rocky, but
yeah,
I don't have Sir
get
Bronn
how
of
it
the
works.
Blackwater.
Okay.
Hey,
Well, he was
forget
too
about-
new.
So
He
first
was
of all,
too
here's
new.
the thing. Don just stole my thunder with that announcement. Wait, this is going to be a great segue. We're going to go, speaking of thunder, we also have a God of Thunder, and Thor Ragnarok is coming out, and one of the Marvel guests is in that movie, Mr. Mark Ruffalo, who plays Bruce Banner. He's going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con.
He's also in 13 going on 30.
Yes, he is with Elektra.
Elektra.
Yes, with
So,
Jennifer
Bruce
Garner.
Banner and Elektra together in a
Boom.
movie.
Yeah.
You never thought you'd see
And it
that.
was an awesome movie.
Want to talk more Marvel characters? How about the Winter Soldier himself? Sebastian Stan's going to be there. The Vision, Paul Bettany.
All of these people, though, in the most, I don't know, like it's Mark Ruffalo. Like, you're awesome, dude. Like me, I'd be like fired up. Like, you guys know, like Walking Dead.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Man, I want to see Shane. I want to see
Right.
the Punisher.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
I want to go crazy.
Yep.
with
John
it.
Bernthal, the Punisher.
Am I not supposed to be jumping all over?
It's okay. We'll go.
It's your show.
As long as you're in the
Always
Marvel
both of your shows.
category,
Do
yeah.
whatever
as
you
long,
like.
But Dave Bautista and Drax.
Batista.
That's going to be.
I've met him though, and he's like literally that much taller than me.
Yeah.
It is
But
funny
he's-
when you
he's
meet
that
actors.
much wider.
He's two of me side by side. But still,
It is funny how short people can be or how tall people can be.
I pictured him to be a Goliath, and then
Yeah.
I bumped into him in a club in Providence, and he's a tiny bit shorter than me.
Nice.
Taller than me.
Well,
Did he dance?
No, he like literally every girl in the club just kept like swarming to
Aw,
his
he
corner.
didn't even get a chance to dance.
No, he just sat
Ah,
there,
bummer.
like bought drink. Well, probably drank for free all night, and then just handed drinks out to like all these people.
Wow, what a cool guy.
He was really cool.
That
He
is
didn't need
cool.
anybody to defend himself.
No.
He could take care of it himself.
He needed me.
Well,
he did.
Well, you know who he could have used? One of the defenders, Luke Cage,
And if
Michael Coulter.
if guns would have been brought out, he could have just put Luke Cage in front of him. He would have been safe.
Yep. And who would be carrying those? John Bernthal, the Punisher.
Nice.
All right, so those are like the Marvel people, but I'm going to just read off again as headliners, miscellaneous that I didn't categorize, and then we'll get into the other guests. But
Okay.
William Shatner, Captain Kirk, man, he's going to be there. Doc Brown, Christopher
Oh my God,
Lloyd.
I'm super excited about this.
Christopher Lloyd is going to be there. We have to go back to the future. I don't. Oh, that's a segue
That's
for
for who's next.
Gene Simmons from Kiss. Somebody who wants to
What is happening?
rock and roll all night and part of every day.
Yep.
Val Kilmer, Batman Forever.
No, he was Val Kilmer's more like the Saint or Island of Dr. Moreau.
Okay.
As better than the Batman that he played.
Okay. How
Wasn't
about
he in Tombstone?
Oh my God!
You're welcome.
Oh my God!
You're
he was like so
welcome.
opiumed up. In
Yeah.
that
But he played it so well.
movie. He did. Wow! Awesome reference. Good
Yeah.
job.
this is a packed show.
Keep going.
And
Keep
I'm still
going.
going.
Come on.
Okay. How about you're a fan of Power Rangers? How about the original Green Ranger? It's Morphin Time. Jason David Frank.
Better known as the White Ranger, and then the Red Ranger, and
Was
then
he the Red Ranger?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was like the something else.
like the
yeah.
teleport through
Yeah.
Galaxy Ranger.
All the different iterations. Well, we're talking about Comic Con, so you're going to see a lot of people who are white and nerdy. You know who else is going to be white and nerdy? Weird Al Yankovic. He's going to be there.
Yeah, he
Are you
is.
still living in the Amish paradise?
I am.
Oh,
You know what, though? We're cutting through this list like a surgeon. You know what I'm saying?
we are. We are.
We're talking about some females now. Let's get into some females.
Girl power.
Well, I don't know about girl power, but somebody that I found very attractive in my youth from National Lampoon.
Damn straight. I was waiting for that one.
Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh my God, Vegas Vacation.
When I was younger,
Spider
the girl
Ball.
of my dreams. But now my
Really?
dreams turn into nightmares because Robert Englund.
Oh,
Freddie.
he's just rolling this one
Dude.
into
He
another.
really is. You're
segueing.
good. You're
Oh,
good.
man.
Segueing. Yeah, no. I reached out to a mutual friend of ours, DC, who's a big fan. She actually has Robert's name tattooed on her. So
Nice.
I gave a shout out to her, and I let her know, but she already knew. She was one step ahead of me.
I hope it says Freddy Krueger on you and not.
I don't know. I know she got the tattoo.
I'm saying.
You'd be surprised.
Anyway, getting back to we already touched upon it, but Jerome Flynn, Bronn from Game of Thrones, he's going to be there.
He needs his fucking castle.
Yep.
That was like
absolutely.
that was like the Scottish version
best.
of him.
That was just the best.
More Lord of the Rings, Sean Astin, Samwise Gamgee, the one who actually the story was all about and the whole time was Samwise Gamgee.
You know what though? I'm not satisfied until we get some wrestling. So can you hook me up with some satisfaction?
Oh,
Or-
absolutely. Some Stratusfaction. Going into the wrestling superstars, another girl of my dreams from my youth, Trish Stratus is going to be there.
He has made his sheets awfully stiff because of Trish Stratus. Let me tell you, his mom will tell you when Trish Stratus was in the WWE.
I thought this was PG-13.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like, you know,
She used extra starch. It's
extra starch.
extra starch.
His sheets just, folded like this. KB,
And-
you're missing a good one. I'm not even drinking Red Bulls.
Yeah, and Don's on fire. Speaking of fire, let's talk about a redhead.
Woo!
Lita's gonna be there.
Lita. She's got fake red hair
man.
though.
Yeah,
She
true.
was not kissed by fire like this guy.
You know what though? I would love, for that crack, I would love to have you executed. I'd have to hire a hitman. Maybe I'd hire Brett the Hitman Hart, the excellence of execution.
You know what though? I was Mr. Main event showstopper, so I hated Bret Hart. I'm
Did you?
sorry. My whole life
He was
I
a Shawn Michaels fan.
I
HBK.
was. You had to go one way
I
or
was
the
a
other.
Shawn
Or-
Michaels fan.
You were?
Yeah, I was.
All right,
I
good.
watched
You're on this
wrestling for a period of time, and I was a Shawn Michaels fan.
Well, how about when WWE, WWF at the time was going strong? There was a competitor by the name of WCW, and one of their biggest stars,
Oh,
Sting. Sting's going to be there, whether it's Surfer Sting or whether it's
Sing a
Crow
split-
version
Oh
Sting.
man, the Crow was my favorite.
Yep.
When that game came out for N64, man, I was Sting all the time. Hit him with the Stinger Splash. Bow.
Nice. Very cool. And Sting, amazing. He was like the Hulk Hogan of
of WCW
pretty
until
much.
Hulk Hogan went to
Actually showed up.
WCW and
Yeah,
became
yeah.
Hulk Hogan of WCW.
Yep,
Right.
made his comeback.
But I want to say, hey, who's that jumping out the sky? It's R-E-Y, as in Rey Mysterio.
619!
The 619, dialing it up. He's going to be there.
Ooh.
My favorite wrestler, actually, believe it or not, is Christian.
Mr. Positivity or Brood Christian or
No,
Edge and Christian?
I like Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian, my favorite tag team of all time. But I like Master of the Peep Show.
My peeps.
You know, and then Terry Runnels, formerly Marlena. Mm-hmm. Loved her as well. I actually have a picture with her from back in 2008, and I think she was hitting on me.
I was so
wasn't sure.
mad that she was with Goldust.
Yeah.
I was like, why? Like, I hate him as a wrestler. Like, why can't this smoke show be with, like, somebody else? And then didn't she end up with Stone Cold? No, that was Miss
No,
Kitty.
she was with Val Venus for a while, and then
Hello, losers. I hated him. He's the worst, too.
There are so many wrestlers out there that their personalities you just love to hate, and I'm like, are you like that all the time? Is it,
I
you know,
love
a
it,
little
like-
bit of show? I'm not sure.
He's like a social worker outside wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, can you tell me about your problems? Just lay down, relax. Yeah.
yeah. So that's it for the wrestling superstars of note that I wanted to make. But Don, another show that's coming back to Netflix, Stranger Things.
I would have to say that I'm not a fan. Psych. Yeah. Can we meet all these people?
Well, yeah. So Caleb McLaughlin, who played Lucas.
Yep.
Gatton, or I don't know if it's Gayton or Gatton, Matarazzo, who played Dustin.
It's
And
Catan.
is it?
No.
It's Gaten.
I think it's.
I was gonna let you
He's
have
Catan.
that.
He's like,
Don's
wait a
trying to
But I'm
get
like,
me
I
wrong.
think I should say the right thing.
But of note, Sadie Sink is also going to be there, and that's not a name we know because she's playing a character called Max, and she's not going to be there till season 2. She's going to be in the new season. So we haven't
When
seen
does
her
the new
character yet.
season come out?
It comes out, I believe, the
Halloween.
27th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we're going to do a Walking Dead show next week, but we might squeeze in some Stranger Things season 2. And speaking of The Walking Dead, we already mentioned Norman Reedus, but what about the other major characters from The Walking Dead? How about the governor, David Morrissey?
He played it phenomenal. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind me.
He
I
was
mean,
a great character. You just love to hate him.
Carrie Payton, King Ezekiel? Mm-hmm. One
maybe,
of my
like maybe 2 years down the road, I'd be fired up to see him. As of right now, his character doesn't really do it for me all that much.
But
like,
he's got
a tiger,
a beast.
I know, but if,
tiger beast.
if the tiger was there and I could go like pet this tiger without it like
Oh
pulling,
yeah,
like,
I'll get him a
magic
plane
act
ticket.
on me.
I'll-
Okay,
yeah,
that's
we'll bring in the
it,
tiger too.
There you go. Well, don't make any promises.
I'm just kidding, guys. There will be no tiger.
The views and expressions.
I'll
of
get-
the- I can't. Where are you? I gotta throw that disclaimer out there. Somebody I want to meet, Lenny James Morgan. I love the character of Morgan.
Morgan's character's incredible.
Yeah, I love that character. I would love to meet that actor. Michael Cudlitz, Abraham. Mm-hmm. I believe, was he there last year too? Or
Yes, he's been in our show before.
So he has been. So he's making
Yep.
a return. Tom Payne, who plays Jesus, and Ross Marquand, who plays Aaron from The Walking
Wow,
Dead.
I just looked at this, right? These are all names from the Bible. I mean, obviously, Jesus is a given, but Abraham, Morgan, Ezekiel, Aaron, like these are all, I've never put that together
the naming
until right
convention.
now.
Maybe you discovered something.
That's it. The internet's going to go crazy
Conspiracy
tomorrow.
theory.
This guy figured it out. Oh my God, The Walking Dead really is like the Bible, only in reverse. Like, what the hell, man?
First, only with zombies.
That's it.
Yeah.
Zombies, yeah.
Bible with zombies.
There you go. So I just want to make mention. I'm not going to name all the other actors, but we also have other Power Rangers actors.
Yes.
Star Wars actors. Star Trek. We already mentioned William Shatner, but there's going to be tons of people from the Next Generation there as well, and there's still going to be
Number two.
many other guests. So again, I urge you to go check out ricomiccon.com. See the guest list. See the pricing for the autograph. See who's unfortunately had to cancel. The future Mrs. Cosetta, Elizabeth Olsen, did cancel, so I'm a little upset about that. But there's a huge guest list, and those are just the ones I pulled based on like our areas of geekery. There's tons
But
more.
you skipped Braun.
We actually have a lot of comic book guests too. You didn't mention any of the
No.
comic book guests.
And
We actually have
go for
some
it.
bomb comic book guests. I'm going to try really hard not to butcher their names, and yes, I did write them down. So for comic book guests, we actually have Sergio Aragons, Larry Hama, Billy Tucci, Chad Harden, Joseph Linzer, and Francis Manapal. Just to name a couple of them.
There's so many good
So many
writers
awesome
and
things are
artists
happening.
right
Yeah,
now.
so many awesome things are happening in the show. I mean, we have voice actors, we have comic book guests, we have, celebrity guests, we have vendors, we have artists, we have events going on like all weekend long.
And that's what I kind of want to talk about. The cool thing with the vendors is, they have a backlog of comics. Some vendors sell comic books.
Yes.
If you want to meet some of these people, you can find their work at these vendors and have them sign a comic that they wrote or drew or inked or however you want. And it's, they make the joke on the Big Bang Theory where they want Stan Lee to sign like a Superman comic or whatever because Stan Lee never wrote Superman, so it's going to be that much more worthwhile and unique. Maybe you want to take a page out of that book and get somebody else that did a Marvel comic to sign a DC or vice versa.
Oh my God, that just reminded me of Step Brothers. Like, check out my katana. Like, that's Randy Jackson right there. When all you have on you is a katana and Randy Jackson there, you have him sign it.
That's true. That's a great reference. Great movie.
That is a good reference.
So we're going to go into our final segment right now, our Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Let's do the
It's
top.
the Mount Rushmore countdown.
Well, you want me to play the final? You want me to play the final countdown theme? I can do
Are
that.
we going to dance it out?
You want to?
Yeah, I do. Let's
Jackie's gonna
dance
do
it out, guys.
Hold on.
It's the final countdown. The final countdown.
Yes.
So yeah, I represent Comic Con.
Yeah, so Jax, this is why I like having Jax on the show. So a little fun fact, Don, that you may not know. You were listening, if you did listen to the audio version the last time that Jax was on for the Gur Arg segment where we talked about Buffy, I actually mentioned when I first started the show, she was my #1 person to go to as a co-host.
I remember that.
Before KB stepped up. Unfortunately, Jackie is very, very busy.
I was a busy
But
woman.
we
yeah.
also want to have her on as much as possible for just
Oh,
for
I will
for
come
that.
on anytime you ask.
Just for that. Because that air guitar probably got
Next
us like
time I'll
300
do a
more
Zumba
viewers.
routine for you guys.
There you go. We'll cue it up. We'll get some. We'll do that. So
We'll
that,
do a quick live workout
that
for
was
5
fantastic.
minutes.
Yeah,
I'll make them do push-ups.
Yep. For
Whoa.
5. Yeah.
If you want to see them do push-ups the next time I'm on, just drop a little comment in
So
there.
thank you, Jackie, for your 2-time only appearance on our
The
show.
views of Jackie are not.
And I'm
the
never
views and
invited
opinions
back.
shared of one, Jack.
All right, not push-ups.
Okay. Now let's talk Mount Rushmore. Let's talk of celebrities, since there's going to be a huge array of celebrities, and you've been doing this for 6 years, so you've probably seen multiple different celebrities.
I have.
I want to know what celebrities are on your bucket list, your top 4, your Mount Rushmore, if you will. Which 4 celebrities are on your bucket list to meet?
Okay.
So, do you want to start with Don? Do you want to go? Do you want Jax to go?
You want all 4?
Yeah, all 4, right off the riff.
I'd love to meet Paul Rudd. I'd love to meet
good one.
James Franco. I'd love to meet Jason Bateman. And I'd love to meet The Rock.
That's very good.
I love The Rock.
Rock's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just trying to think now. Paul Rudd was on my list. I'd probably say what other TV show am I really? Grant Gustin. I'm a big fan of The Flash.
Oh, he's cool.
I'd love to meet him. Tom Cavanaugh's another one too. I love him on The Flash. And if I'm going to go wrestler, CM Punk. Those would be my top 4. Just because I think CM Punk is great what it is. Or if not CM Punk, since he's not wrestling anymore, Kevin Owens would be my other.
Kevin Owens is cool. He's a douche, but he's cool.
But he's not. He's awesome. But he just plays
I know,
as a character.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They need that I appreciate characters like
Yeah.
that. They need that.
I
So-
love those characters. Those characters you love to hate.
Yes.
Like Negan on The Walking Dead.
Oh.
How much do we hate him? But he's so good.
Jeffrey
I can't
Dean
get
Morgan
enough.
is-
He was.
That man is awesome.
I think he held that whole season together.
But that was, I have to say, I think that was my favorite season, and it was because of him. He was just
But
he was gold.
He's going to be on this season too. So I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what they do
I
with this
never
character.
want to see him go.
Well, if you read the
But
comics,
Yeah.
if you read the comics,
Yeah.
spoiler alert for those that don't read the comics. In 3, 2, 1, Negan is still around in the comic books,
yeah.
and they're
Prisoner
about,
though.
right, but they're about 3 years ahead of where the show is right now. So I'm curious to see how the show is going to handle his character and what they're going to do. So anyway, going back to our topic at hand, though, Jax, the top 4 celebrities you'd like to meet.
Okay, so I picked 5 because my
Of course. Wait,
Because
stop.
I'm a girl and
stop.
I'm
She's in KB's seat, so it makes sense.
hold on.
actually really true.
Here's why I picked 5. Because technically the number one person is Elijah Wood, and I did meet him for about 40 seconds once.
But he's still on the bucket list. Okay,
But he's still on the bucket list. Another one is Jensen Ackles,
Yes.
Supernatural.
Yep.
Michael
Is that
J.
Dean or is
Fox.
that- Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox is
Wow.
on my bucket list, as is Harrison Ford and Jennifer Garner.
Harrison Ford. Oh my
Harrison
God.
Ford.
I would
Oh.
love to meet him too.
Do you
I
know
would-
that he used to live in Westport?
I did not know that.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go stalk his house, his old house.
old
I don't think he lives there anymore,
No,
but
no.
We're gonna
his
find it and then
old
see if he
house.
left anything in the basement.
I'm gonna absorb his
His whip?
essence.
Not used for Indiana Jones, by the way.
Hey, we're not talking about the black leather one.
Oh, that's a really
Yeah,
good.
those are,
That's really good. And Jennifer Garner's now.
Jennifer Garner's my girl crush.
Okay,
That
and-
woman's another
and
badass
what,
woman.
What was you mentioned 13 going on 30 with Mark Ruffalo?
Yes,
Was that
one
Mark
of my
Ruffalo?
faves.
But what was your?
Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, amazing movie.
Great
Just
movie.
saying.
Yep, another great rom-com.
Is that your favorite? What's your favorite work by her though?
Alias.
Yeah,
I
it
was a
just
huge. I actually dressed up
Everyone
as
said
Sydney
it was so
Brestow
good.
for Halloween like 100 years ago. It was great when the show was on.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Everyone
Alias.
said that show was really,
You
really,
didn't
really
watch
good.
it?
No,
All right,
it's all
well,
on
I'm gonna
Netflix.
Go Netflix
Yeah.
it, because honestly, Alias is a great show.
And then they got the new ones like, well, the new after Alias was like Nikita, or
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those deals
Yeah.
with the girl from Divergent. The Asian girl who does tattoos in Divergent is never mind. Anyway,
but
I watch
Nikita.
too much TV. I watch way too
But
much
Nikita
TV.
was actually
I'm
based,
with
I
you.
believe, on an old USA show.
The
La
Femme Nikita that came on right after WWF. Come
I'm
on.
just saying.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Well, Jedi Jax, thank you. This is the name of this episode, Return of the Jedi Jax. Let's plug, all the other stuff you got. Again, let's go on Facebook, her Facebook page, Jedi Jax Fitness. Check her out there. Like the page. She's does
Yes,
Star
please.
Wars trivia every Tuesday.
I do.
Also, I'll share the link again, but in the video on Facebook, we also have a link to your fundraiser. Talk a little bit about that.
So every year, I mentioned earlier that I'm a ulcerative colitis warrior, and every year I do a walk called the Take Steps Walk through the Colitis and Crohn's Foundation. So every year I try to help raise money so that someday they can find a cure, get better treatments. Maybe someday they'll figure out what happened with me. So my walk is actually on October 21st, and we're gonna walk proud. And if you see pictures of me, it'll probably have like a poop hat on, like the poop emoji
yeah.
hat. Because again, everybody poops.
We could just say you're a chocolate surf serve cone. Something
Yeah.
like that. You're good. You'll be
Wait,
good.
it's not ice cream?
No, never.
It's a bit nutty.
That was good. For those listening to the audio podcast, Don just pantomimed licking ice cream. Anything else you want to plug, Jax? Anything else?
No,
missed?
that's it. I
Comic-Con?
mean, go to Rhode Island Comic Con's page, check out the guest lists. It's awesome. Come follow me. I have some fun things to say, and I would love to help any of you on your health and wellness journey when you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Don, anything you want to plug?
Little side note that our amazing guest here did not mention. My favorite animated series, voice actors will be there for the show Rick and Morty. Oh my God, if
Yes.
you guys don't watch this show, watch it.
What is wrong with you?
It is a genius show
Created
put
by-
together in the most stupid way, created by Dan Harmon and Justin Rowland.
I
wanna say
love
his name.
Community, and Dan Harmon
And
is...
you know that I love Community, but beyond that, we should really start watching Harmon Quest. D&D mixed with animation by that
All right.
genius right there.
I'm
All
in with
right.
that. I'm in with that.
Ta-da!
Anything else you want to plug?
Guys, last week we did really good at Tap House. Did the little Tap House classic specials. Week before we did Italian. Sure, there's going to be some amazing specials tomorrow. Chef Don cooking it up tomorrow. Tap House. Fall River, Fall River, Fall River. But besides
Check that out. Also in Fall River, right across the street from our studio, check out Game King.
that was a segue.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. They're having, and KB knows all this, and he's the one that was talking to them. But they're
Did
having.
you ever mention where he was, by the way?
KB is at a concert.
Sorry, KB.
He's not gonna watch this because he never watches the shows he's not on. But I believe he's at Enrique Iglesias or something like that. With his,
be your hero,
That's the song. Oh,
again,
that's Mark
tied to our
Anthony.
show. Tied to our
Wait,
show.
is that Enrique
That's
Iglesias?
Enrique Iglesias. I believe he's at that show. He's there. His wife wanted to go. He got free tickets, so he's going. So he's like,
stay like
That's a good husband.
he tells me that.
Good
He tells me
husband.
this the other day. He's like, "Hey, I can't do the show this week because I'm going to go see Enrique Iglesias." Like, really? Okay. All right, KB. If you ever watch this, then you'll
missed
know
some fun.
we're throwing you under the bus, buddy. But we love you. But yeah, KB talked to the guys at Game King. I think they're celebrating. I don't know if it's 5 or 6 years right now, but they're having a huge like gaming. Believe it's not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. We'll have to check that out. But just an amazing. I believe it's the 21st. They're having all day gaming. So if you're new and you want to play some tabletop games, role playing games, whatnot, hop over there, check it out. They're going to be doing beginner games, and if you're ever interested in getting into that, but they also have comic books, collectibles, the whole gamut of geekdom right there too. So check them out. Also check out our Facebook page if you're listening to the audio version, For Your Geek Podcast on Facebook. Check us out on Instagram, on Twitter at For Your Geek on both of those. What else do I want to plug? I want to plug our sponsors again, Pachico's Furniture, Local Blast, and the Ritual Sweat Society. Thank you again for sponsoring us. Jax, thank you for being on.
Thank you so much for having me,
We're
guys.
going to have
This
you
was
on
fun.
again just for that air guitar because that was amazing.
That's my signature move. No.
And
That and the sprinkler.
okay, so you know what? We're going to go out to that. You're going to do the sprinkler and yeah. So we're going to do that. But ladies and gentlemen, start your weekend with your geek friends.
And I guess it's going back to Get Your Geek On because
Your
I
Geek
was not cued.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Take 2. We're not live or anything. Yeah, KB.
It's real life.
KB
It's okay.
made comment because we always said start. This has been your dose of geek for the week because when we used to have the podcast, we'd release it on Friday. So that would be. But I said Fridays. But technically, Friday is considered the unofficial start of the weekend.
That's it. It's my,
So
it's my
what?
Tuesday.
Start the weekend with your geek friends.
Get your geek on!
Later, folks.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.